Hey, what's going on today? It's TK and Drinks. Got another Honest Mead review coming at you. But as you can see, we're doing things a little bit different today. I got 3 bottles we're doing. It's going to be our first flight sampling we're doing on TK and Drinks. It's going to be 3 mead reviews in one. And that is a special thing because I've never done that before. And today we're going to be hitting that up because these 3 meads are the ones that are for sale now here in the Phoenix area through TK and Drinks distribution from Space Time Mead and Cider Works out of Dunmore, Pennsylvania. I've got these 3 here popped open already. Gave them a quick little sample before, so it's not quite the same as the usual ones where we get you the honest opening and everything like that, but you are still getting an honest mead review. Still tell you what I think about it. So anybody who's never had a flight before, which is just multiple tastings of different beers, wines, meads, or drinks in general, usually want to start off with your lightest or easiest to drink and then work your way into the most difficult or complex, heaviest, whatever the term you want to use for that, just so they don't get ones that overpower subtle flavors in the lighter ones. So we're definitely going to be starting off today with the AndroMeada. Now this is a sweet leaning traditional mead, or a sweet traditional mead there from, again, Space Time Mead and Cider Works. Now this is made with a Belgian ale yeast and wildflower honey, so that Belgian ale yeast gives it a bit of a tangy zip to it, is the way I describe it. But if you've ever had any of those Belgian ale style beers, so think of something like a Hogarden. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced. I always pronounce their shit wrong, but like a Hogarden or something like that. So again, like I said, I always considered it like a bit zippy or a bit tangy or something like that. Probably gonna skip the slow pours on this one, just for sake of camera work and whatnot. But definitely at least get you up there on the pour. Maybe you can slow it down on your end. I don't know. Now see, I definitely get the honey sweetness right off the bat on that nose. You get that clarity looking at that. Wonderful. Might be something, tiny bit of haze left in there or something. But looks pretty damn brilliant to me. Might as well fill this scorecard out while we go along here. And I do have my wine aroma wheel at hand for any nose character identifying needs. Got that honey characters in there pretty well. Sweetness comes through. It smells lightly floral, I would say, like like a traditional wildflower honey's got that kind of, not necessarily like lightly floral, but like that traditional, like I call it the standard stereotypical honey taste when you get like the honey bear or something like that. That's real 100% honey, none of that adulterated stuff. It's absolutely wonderful. I love that. Again, with just that little sip, yep, bright, zippy, tangy, some astringency on there. You know what? I'm gonna put this away. That's just distracting me from what I'm doing. I'll have to hit those all at the end and let you know how that goes. But so anyway, and again on that aroma, get the alcohol in there on the back end. You get that tartness from the Belgian ale yeast on the front. That honey character in there just kind of plays throughout the whole thing. You get whiffs of it here and there lightly, but I'd say, man, that is a phenomenal smelling. It almost has this kind of like beer. Again, that's probably got to be the Belgian ale yeast, that tart beer type of aroma to it. Like, again, made with that Belgian ale yeast. See, we got legs going on here. I don't know if you can see that on that side. There we go. Some legs. Oh yeah. So this is a 10.5%, it looks like. 11.9%. So it's 11.9% on there. It's got lots of sugar left over in there. Let's go ahead and man, again, it's got a wonderful balance of tartness right up front, and then the honey character sweetness kicks in after that. It got some astringency to it, so it's get your tongues puckering and salivating. I really like it a lot. It's nothing like any traditional I've ever had, and again, I'm gonna have to attribute that to the yeast. Usually, I don't get anything tangy like that from traditional. Usually, it's a lot sweeter. You get that more traditional fermentation type of character. This one is really something different. It piques my interest. I'm glad that I picked this one up and I started carrying it. Definitely digging that one a lot. Man, that slight pucker, that is really good. All right, let's get to the scorecard on this one real quick. All right, so got that scorecard done for the AndroMeada. We're hitting that one off with the 41, giving that a 8 out of the bouquet and aroma. For again, that zippy, tangy aroma comes through just slightly, mixed well with the honey, mixed well with the alcohol fermentation, everything. You pick up all those notes, but one doesn't stand out over the others. You might pick one up before another one, but they all balance and hit you equally. The appearance, get that a 6 out of 6. I mean, it's really hard to not get a solid appearance on some of these meads, you know, depending on what your personal preference is. But it's clear, there's no floaties, no particulates in there. Looking good, smelling good, tasting good. Give it a 20 out of 24 on that flavor profile. Again, it's very stringent right up front, and that puckering tartness fades away, and the sweetness from the honey comes on afterwards. It's balanced very well. You get a little bit of drying off in the end from the tannins, a little bit, some acidity back there too at the end to help keep it all pulled together. It's balanced very well in my opinion. And overall, I give it a 7 out of 10, and it's kicking ass for what it does. It's phenomenal taste. It's got a great look to it. It does everything it's supposed to do. So it's, again, 41 out of 50. I would highly recommend you pick up a bottle of it, especially here if you're in Arizona. Pick one up from your boy tkanddrinks, or pick one up from Dan directly there at Spacetime Mead Cider Works. Any of his sellers there in the Pennsylvania area. Do yourself a favor and have yourself a taste. All right, next we are going to be getting into our second one from them, which is going to be our cherry vanilla collab piece that Dan there at Spacetime did in collaboration with Honey Hole Winery, which I believe. So that collaboration with Honey Hole Winery, they're in Drums, Pennsylvania, and Dan, for my interview I did with him, if you did not see that, go check out that What's the Story interview with Dan Schreffler. Did that one a couple, I think it's my most recent interview at this point. When this video is being released new anyway, I'm pretty sure that'll be my most current interview. But go check that out with him, and he was letting me know that this collaboration, he learned a lot of his making techniques from the cats there at Honey Hole Winery. So Dan's background comes from more of a wine making background than a beer brewing background, as I understand it, and there's a lot of crossover that we could get that we could learn from some of these people if we could only get together and understand that wine, beer, mead, what have you, everybody could just learn from each other and play off each other's strong suits and use different techniques that everybody pulls together. I can't see any reason why everybody can't just learn from each other. We make the best quality product we can. So let's get you up on that pour. See, now this one, from what I'm seeing right away, very much got a haze to it. So that is not brilliant clarity. That is very hazy going on. Super hazy boy on that one. Now this one is a 10.1%. It's a blend of cherries and hand-cut Madagascar vanilla beans. I believe it was also aged in bourbon barrels as well. So we got... Let's go ahead and see if we can't pull up some of that body on there. I believe this one is supposed to be sweet or just off sweet. Now that's a lot of residual sugar left over there if that's not supposed to be sweet. or off sweet. The color kind of has a I don't know what you would call that, cherry red color to it. Looks like honey that's been tinted red, almost kind of got like an orange. Actually, that's what it really looks like. It almost looks like a like an orange blossom honey or something. Very orange tinted hue to it. On that aroma here, getting the cherry sweetness, getting that little bit of smokiness. Definitely picking up some of that bourbon aroma in there. Seeing a tiny bit of bubbles going on in there, just the tiniest bit around the edges that are collecting up there. I wonder if that's, again, these have been breathing for about a couple of days now. I'd say probably about 2-3 days. So meniscus appears clear once you thin it out a little bit. I mean, it definitely comes across as... I'm going to need to have somebody show me the difference. I'm going to get one of them testing kits where they have all the different ones where you just can actually see a difference. I'm so much a visual and tactile learner, like I have to see and touch and play with things so I can learn the proper way to do them, or use it or activate it or learn to interact with it, all those different things. So I'm definitely getting the cherries in there. I'm not sure I'm getting any vanilla aroma in it. I'm just getting a lot of oak and a lot of the bourbon smell. It's got a much fuller body to it than the traditional. Get the cherry rush up front, kind of a little bit of that bourbon-y taste there at the end. Very light on that though, not overpowering. Get the tanginess from the cherries, blends with the sweetness from the honey. Getting a little bit of smokiness in there. It almost kind of reminds me of like a mead version of like an old fashioned. You know, get a little bit of, throw a little bit of citrus, a little orange twist or something in there. Man, you old-fashioned cats out there, definitely scoop this one up. That would go well with a whiskey or a bourbon old-fashioned. And I am serving these close to about 60 degrees, so they've definitely got a lot of the character present in them. I don't think anything's being suppressed. All right, let's get to that scorecard for this one. All right, here we go. Scorecard number 2, cherry, vanilla, bourbon, vanilla beans, not bourbon barrel aged mead. So I correct myself on that one as I looked up the mead there on the website when I was going through there. Just wanted to make sure to get that right. Again, hit it off with a 39. Still a strong score out of 50 for the cherry vanilla. Got a 7 out of 10 on the bouquet and the aroma. The appearance, get a 5 out of 6. Flavor, we're going to hit it off with a 20 out of 24. Definitely scoop you up a bottle of this, again, from me here somewhere in Arizona, from my man Dan there directly at Space Time, any of his other retailers there in the Pennsylvania area. If you're old fashions, Manhattans, if you're into those classy drinks, you definitely want to scoop up with that. You even got the classy frosted bottle. Gotta love a frosted bottle, man. That to me is one of the unique things, because when they get the lines from the liquids dripping down on, they all look a little bit different. Doesn't ever clean up quite the same. They're always kind of unique bottles. I know it sounds something stupid and corny, but a frosted bottle has a special place in my heart. So let's get on to that third one. So lastly, and certainly not leastly, is our raspberry collab from the folks there, again at Honey Hole Winery, that collabed with Space Time Mead and Cider Works. I don't know if you can see through that, but that is got a very dark red, I mean like midnight crimson, if that's a color. I'm making that a color now, midnight crimson. If you can get it tilted at the light, you can pick up some slight see-throughness to it there, opacity we'll call it. But this thing is just, looks like somebody took a raspberry and just dripped it right down into there. I don't know why I put it down. I need to get into the good stuff, opening it up. So I have had this one already, again, like I've told you for all the other ones. Now this one I saved to last, again, because it's got the strongest flavor profile, even over that bourbon barrel aged one on there. This one, I just realized I got a full glass still. I'll have to set that one off to the side. Calling the reserve glass the Ancient Fire Tulip. Thank you guys over there, Ancient Fire, for this. But as I was saying, this one I've had before, and it man, this is super what everybody's into right now. Berry bombs. Everybody wants the berry bomb. Everybody wants something that just tastes like liquid berries. This cat right here is what you want if that's your case. This tastes like raspberries in a bottle. I can't even hardly wait to tell you about it, man. It smells like raspberry sorbet. Like you got some high-end raspberry gelato or something like that from your favorite ice creamery or gelatory. I don't know what the technical term for that is, because I'm an unwashed masses. But imagine if you went somewhere that had gelato and it was like fresh made, and you had a raspberry one. Holy cow! You can taste the raspberries in the aroma. I mean, like my mouth starts salivating because the puckering is so strong. Like anybody who's ever had like fresh raspberries off the vine, those things can be super tart, super just juicy, and I mean the sweetness, it plays so well together, and that aroma hits all those notes. It's so well. You don't get any hardly alcohol in there at all. You get a slight bit of sweetness you can pick up some honey in there, but all in all, that is just raspberry, true raspberry through and through. This one's not very leggy. The legs tend to break away pretty quick. I was expecting that I was expecting to have a lot leggier of a drink, given how sweet it is, but that doesn't make it no never minds. So let's get straight away to the taste on there, because I'm just dying to get into it. It's like somebody dropped a handful of raspberries, drizzle with the slightest bit of honey, tangy, tart, a little bit of puckering, some drying at the end, some sweetness from the honey just kicks throughout. That is so well put together. This has probably got to be in my new top 5 favorite meads of all time. I cannot believe the amount of flavor. True like raspberry flavor. Anybody who my mom grew raspberries when I was growing up. We had raspberry in my yard, and this tastes like I went out on the end of the summer, and picked up a handful of raspberries and just squished them all in there. You don't get maybe the slight bit of warming there at the end, but holy cow, it's just raspberry through and through and through. All right, here we go. Let me get to that scorecard. All right, scorecard 3 coming to a close for the tkanddrinks flight. Our last one, the raspberry from Spacetime Mead Cider Works collab with Honey Hole Winery. Boom, 46. Again, like I said, this is my top 3-5 meads of all time. The raspberry, it's like liquid raspberry gelato, sorbet, whatever you want to call it, in a glass. You can barely get the alcohol notes in there. It just tastes like the finest, one of the finest well put together. I can hardly articulate how well it's put together. 9 out of 10 on the aroma. Again, you get that just true raspberry smell coming through. A 6 out of 6 on that appearance. Dark, deep raspberry hue to it. Red, borderline on the hint of purple. 22 out of 24 on the flavor. Pretty much everything you could ever want. 9 out of 10 on my overall impression. Again, top 5 mead. I would buy this for a family member, or I wouldn't hesitate to give this a bottle to anybody I knew and think that they were going to like it, unless they absolutely just hated everything raspberry. This is, unless you hate raspberries, this is going to be something you're going to absolutely love. I promise you that. So today, 3 meads, 3 tasting, 3 reviews. I've taken up a good chunk of your day today. So if you live here in the Phoenix area, look for these at your retailers. If you don't see them at the retailer, let them know to reach out to tkanddrinks Instagram, tkanddrink on Facebook, tkanddrinks@gmail.com. I would love to be able to get our products into as many places and satisfy as many customers as possible. So thank you for being here today. Hit up Dan at Spacetime Mead and Cider Works, Instagram, Facebook. Don't think he's on Twitter, but Instagram, Facebook, pretty much standard for all that type of stuff anymore. Anyway, also check out Honey Hole Winery on Instagram and Facebook. They have a bunch of cool stuff going on as well. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. Have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you are.